All right, we are looking at Google Sites, which is the website tool for Google. It is not a blogging tool. It's really just a website tool, and it has so many great features because it is multimedia. And I think the big advantage to using Google Sites over any of the other products is that I can embed things, because truly people don't click on stuff. So when I use a Google site, you can just have it embedded and they can see all of your stuff at once. And it's a better way to get information to students. So let's take a look at the slides that I have. Mostly I'm just showing off. If you click here where it says Hyperlink Google Slides, it takes you to this slide, which will give you the link to install my newest add-on. Is just got approved like 2 days ago. So I'm going to paste that into the chat. And then I'm going to see this little home arrow in the corner. It's going to take me back. So that add-on has automatically created the navigation in my Google Slides, which I'm very excited about because it's incredibly easy to do. So it's like my new favorite thing. So speaking of, here are the slides. Here is the link to the slides. There you go. All right, so again, if you click on Hyperlink Google Slides and then you click on the Google Slides logo, it's going to take you to install Hyperlink Slides choice board. It collects no user data, no PII, and it's pretty fast and easy. It's going to do a really super quick demo just because it's really fast. So you just make any Google Slides that you already have, and then you can make anything on the slides. Here. I'm going to just go ahead and put it in a text box. Come here, text box. I'll put in a shape. Here's a fun fact about shapes. Right? I just made the shape and then you can start typing on it. So they're actually text boxes. And you just go to the add-ons menu, you choose Hyperlink Slides choice board, and I use text on slides. And you're going to see that it automatically created a slide for each of the items on the slide, and those are going to hyperlink back automatically. So when I go to slideshow, I click on the arrow, takes me back to the home page, click on Alice, goes to the Alice page. It automatically creates all of that navigation. Okay, so that was just a quick demo. So if you're interested in that, it is linked on the Hyperlink Google Slides by using the Google Slides logo. Okay, so these are my 3 ways that I would like to propose that this semester you could start using Google Sites. Google Sites, I think, is really easy except for one tiny little feature, and I'm definitely going to show that to you today. So it is a what are we doing today? It is tutorials and student collaboration. So those are the 3 things that I'm going to share with you. But we are going to start with sites.new. So I'm going to type that over here. Start with sites.new, and it's going to create a new Google site. So if you would just create one for me just really quick, I'll just wait a second, do a sites.new. It should load right up so long as you're logged into your Google account. And I want you to see how fast and easy it is to create a multimedia, really attractive thing for your site. And while I'm waiting for you to do that, I'm going to use my Bitmoji, which I don't think that you can see. And I'm going to copy the image and paste it. All right. So you can copy and paste images right onto your Google site. I'm going to, instead of titling this Untitled Sites up in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to do demo to delete. It says your page title. You can call that the home page if you would like. And that's where we're going to get started. Where do you find this Google site? Here's the great part about it. It is in Google Drive. So I'm going to go to drive.google.com. I'm going to click on recent, just like I would a Google Doc or a Google Slides. It's going to be right there. Your Google Sites saved to Google Drive. So to me, that's one of the big advantages. Oops. Why isn't it there? You can see when I do type site that I have a lot of Google sites that come up. I think this one, it's saving. The internet is slow apparently right now. And usually that happens because I am on a Google Meet. So we are saving. Once that finishes saving, you would be able to find it in your Google Drive. You don't need to do that. Just wanted to show you that you could. All right, so you have a Google site. And what are we going to do with this Google site? So what are we doing today? I recommend you create a page of the day. When I use a Google Classroom assignment or anything else, it's very flat. Like I can put some text. I actually have a Google Slides that I put my daily agenda on. That's really great. It automatically updates every day. That's alicekeeler.com/agenda slides. alicekeeler.com/daily agenda slides. Daily agenda slides. And so what that does, it's a Google Slides, and every day it populates a slide for me at the top with the date on it, which is very handy, ready for me to put those agendas in there, which is great. But I usually have more than I want to just have on a single slide. So you can embed that Google Slides. What are we doing today? And then you can build around what things you want to put on the page. So here on my site, it says saving my changes is taking longer than usual. I noticed that. I'm going to click on pages on the left-hand side. So you see that I have this toolbar. It says insert, pages, and themes. Just for fun, I'll change the theme. Why not? But we're not looking at themes. We're really looking at the pages. So you want to be on that middle option, pages. So if you'd go to that for me. And down at the bottom, it says new page, new page. Oh, they've changed this a little bit. It now says new menu section instead of a new, what is that? New menu section? Okay, I'm gonna have to play with that later. I'm gonna click on new page because I want a new page. So today is Wednesday and it is January 5th. My daughter turns 18 tomorrow and I'm just not ready for this. All right, January 5th, done. So I've made a page of the day, except my site doesn't want to work. Reload. What's going to happen here? Oh yeah, deleted all my stuff. That's awesome. Great. Thanks for that. All right, demo, delete. Honestly, that is the first time that's ever happened to me. I've never had an issue with my Google site saving, and my computer here I think is a little old. I'm really thinking about getting a new one. Okay, if I paste there, I put my picture back. So, here we go. I don't know if you can see this. It's very small font. It says all changes saved in Drive. So I don't know. There was some glitch. It just didn't save to Drive. So I'm back. I now have my site. I have my pages. I'm going to add Wednesday, January 5th. Done. There we go. And now I have a page for today. Now, if you have a Google Slides that you want to embed, like I have the alicekeeler.com/daily agenda slides, look at this trick. I'm going to copy the link to the slides. So I've just copied the link to the slides. And on the Google site, I'm going to double click. When you double click, this insert wheel comes up. Now, it does have the option to insert from Drive. So I have my Google Slides that I want on my site page, for example, my daily slides, but I'd have to go like search for it on Drive. Here's a trick. If you already have the link, like I do, I just copied the link to my clipboard. Instead, use the little less than, greater than, that is the embed icon. And I'm going to choose the embed icon and paste. And it's going to allow me to really quickly insert and embed those Google Slides. I'm going to be able to grab the corner, make it bigger. So if you have your daily agenda, you can just stick that right in there, any materials that you're using. And of course, once it's published, the students be able to navigate through those individual slides. So what are we doing today? So I'm going to put my agenda and make that heading. Okay. And you'll notice that when you have a new section, I double click, put some text, and make a bullet list. We're going to do our warm up. We're going to have a class discussion. These are little sections. So when you look at each section on your Google site, you'll see each section has these icons on the side. So you can color the section colors. You could duplicate the section, so you get 2 of them, and then you could delete the section if you want. So it puts it out into individual sections. And so what are we doing today? I'm able to build this entire page so that it shows all of my resources. It embeds my Google Docs or any materials I'm using with students. I'm going to choose here from Drive. I'm going to go to recent. And I'm going to stick this reading template in there. Now there are grippy dots on the side, so I can drag and move these individual sections around. So if I have a Google Doc, let me see if I can find one over here. Here we go. You can see that it embeds right onto the page. That is one of the things I love. I usually will resize this so they can see the whole thing. So instead of saying, click here, look at my Google Doc, I know a lot of them won't. So if I do it instead where I embed it into the Google site, I'm going to communicate with my students a lot better about what are we doing today. The other thing I like to do is to create video. I'm not sure if this is going to show up on the recording, but what I have is the Screencastify Chrome extension. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that Chrome extension. I'm going to record. Actually, I just want to use my webcam. Chrome extension, webcam only. Hey, welcome. We are doing many things today. I'm going to click stop. So I can record a little greeting, tell my students what I expect them to do today. And the great thing about Screencastify is it saves to Google Drive. Saves to Google Drive. And I'm just going to wait just a little bit, let the video render. So I'll be able to insert it in there, but I should be able to just double click, choose from Drive. So it's that bottom option there on the insert wheel. I'm going to come over to recent. Here's that video. You can see it has the video icon and not a preview of the video because it's not done rendering. So you'll see that it adds in there. I think it should adds in black, or it's spinning. You actually do want to wait for your video to render, but that's how fast and easy it is for me to put a morning greeting, for me to explain the directions, for me to give my students some direct instruction via video, and I can design my whole "what are we doing today" page very quickly and easy with a variety of, here we go, this is much better. You do want to wait until it renders. You can tell that it's rendered because it actually shows a preview of the video. And who doesn't love an awkward screen grab? If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the sidebar. All right, before I get any further and I go through the other two options, it is important to mention that while your Google site does automatically save, you do need to publish so that the revisions are visible to students. And there's actually two views. There's the edit view and the publish view, and you want to make sure that you share the publish view with students. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish. I'm going to sneeze. Now you'll see here that when I click publish, I can name my site, and then who can view my site? I want to choose manage. I'm going to manage, or later I can go to the share settings, kind of like a Google Doc. You can see it's pretty much the same sharing screen as a Google Doc, so I can share it with somebody like I normally would. I'm going to manage. But down here on the bottom where it says links, I'm going to click on change. And this is where it's different from a Google Doc. In a Google Doc, there is the sharing permissions are shared or not shared. With sites, it's different because you are allowing editing access to the site versus allowing viewing access to the site. So this first one where it says draft restricted, only the people you have explicitly shared the Google site with can edit it. You want to leave that. You do want to say draft restricted. You want to say draft restricted. Now it's the published site. The published site, I'm going to change it from Alice Keeler's My School. So from my school name to public. So anybody can see my site, or you can restrict it to only people at your school site if it's just for your students, if you have any students on there and you don't want it to be visible to others. But usually for my what are we doing today, I want parents to see that. So I'm going to say publish site public. So I'm going to give you a second. So what you're going to do is click on publish on your site, and then you're going to choose manage. And again, you're going to want to change the link so that it's restricted and public. So I'll just give you a second to go ahead and click on that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click done. I'm going to click publish, and now my site is published. And so now you will notice something that was not active before. Up in the toolbar, in the middle, there is a link icon. And that link icon is the link to that page. So this is my, what are we doing today? So I'm going to create a new page. I go page, new page, and I'd make one for Thursday, January 6th, which is my daughter's birthday. Done. Now, the students cannot see this until I hit publish. So you're going to need to publish. And then for Thursday, when I click this link icon up here in the toolbar, this is the link to the Thursday date. I'm going to paste this here. Here is Thursday. And I'm going to paste it on this page. I just double clicked, right? I want you to notice that the end of the URL says the page name, so you know what link you are sharing. So I want to share with my students, maybe I drop this into Google Classroom. What are we doing today? And I've created an entire page with my tutorials, my video, embedding my documents and resources, and I create a really lovely lesson on Google Sites. I'm going to come back here to Wednesday. This is the one that I have my agenda. I've got my video. I've got my slides. I have my Google Doc on. I want to click that link icon. This is the link to Wednesday. Here is Wednesday. Put that into the chat. So what I want you to see the difference here is I'm creating this site where I'm directing everybody to the individual pages. Now notice the navigation that is created up at the top. So each page automatically is going to be added. And you can see how that would really be a problem pretty quickly. After a week, I would have all of these dates up there. So one option is on pages. I'm on the sidebar, says pages. On the individual page listed on the sidebar, I use the 3 dots and I can hide from navigation. I can hide from navigation. So that way you don't see it up there at the top. So you notice that Wednesday just went away. I'm going to undo that. I want to show it in the navigation. Another option is when you go up to the settings and you have here on navigation, you can do top navigation or side navigation. You might want to put that over there on the side because it's a little more hidden. You have to click on the little logo so you can see the list. So you might like that navigation better. So again, I went up to the settings to do that. Or what you can do is just create a new page. And I'm going to call this page Daily Agendas. Like Alice, I don't see how that, put this back to top navigation, helps me because it's still all there. That's true. But what you can do is you can drag. So I'm going to drag this Wednesday and I'm going to drop it on top of the daily agenda. I'm going to turn it into a subpage. So you can see it's now a subpage of daily agendas. I'm going to grab this one, drop it on top of daily agenda. So now up in the navigation, it just says daily agendas and then lists it to make it a little bit more compact. Any changes that you make, do make sure that you click publish. Publish. All right, so what you should have done is you should have gone to sites.new and created a new site. You should have added a page for creating, what are we doing today? And double clicked to create to pull up the double, here we go, the insert wheel. And you could have linked to documents you have the link to or found things from Drive and use that. And you would have clicked publish and you would have managed your site, and you're going to want to use that link in the toolbar because you're going to do that every day and share the daily link. So that's one way that you could use Google Sites this semester. All right, I'm going to click on this arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. It's going to take me back to my home page. And what I love to use Google Sites for is tutorials. So I create a directory of how-tos. I teach high school math. I cannot teach math all the way back to kindergarten. So if there's anything that my students are weak in, common denominator, they're always weak in common denominator. I'm not going to do another common denominator lesson. So what I can do then is create a Google site. I'm going to add a new page, and I'm going to call this tutorials. So on my Google site, I can have tutorials. I do not want that to be a subpage. So I'm just going to drag that over. I'm going to drop it on the home page, pull it over. Come on. There we go. Got to do a little trickery to get them in the navigation way that you would like. Now you can do the 3 dots and add a subpage, or you can just add a page and maneuver the pages on the side as you wish. So I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to do common denominator. I create that common denominator page, but then I'm going to drag it and drop it on top of tutorials so that it is, you can see here in the navigation, a subpage. Okay. All right. So I might go to YouTube and I might find a video already made about common denominator. Why recreate the wheel? Ooh, they're Justin Bieber lyrics. Well, that sounds super. I don't even know what that means. This does not seem like a math video. I'm going to probably regret this. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to embed. I'm going to put the link to my YouTube video. Probably I should have one actually about math. That one would probably be a silly joke. Common denominator. Here we go. This looks really boring. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my YouTube video. I am going to double click to get that wheel to come up. I'm just going to paste a link. And then any resources, materials, I would design this tutorial. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing like I did with the daily agenda. I'm going to publish. I'm going to click publish. And I'm going to get the link. I've copied the link to this common denominator page. So when I see a student is struggling with common denominator, I have all these tutorials ready to go. I go grab the link and I put that as feedback into the private comments of Google Classroom or wherever it is that I put feedback comments. But it's really great because it is multimedia. You can see that I can embed that video. I can put text. I can put a Google Slides that I might already have in there, embed those in there. I can link to a online quiz so they can practice. I have all kinds of ways that I can design this for students and how you would want a tutorial for your students. It's very handy. And the best part is it lasts for years, right? I can use the same page I made for common denominator tutorials next year and the year after that to keep bringing students back to, hey, you're not that good at common denominator. Here's a resource that I have prepared for you. And on my Google site, I've got all of my tutorials for skills that students may need help with. Okay, let's go ahead and go back and we're going to look at my third and final way that we are going to have students use Google Sites, and that is for student collaboration. So this is really awesome because it is a Google Doc, but multimedia. It's collaborative. Multiple students can be in the same Google, oh, that shouldn't say slides, that should say sites. Google Sites are collaborative. Let's do a little editing on this. Google, come on, Sites. There we go. Google Sites are collaborative. So what you could do is have one Google Sites website per group. And then whatever presentation that they're putting together, they can actually all work it on at the same time. So I was thinking about showing my students this video on building medieval castles. And the reason why I wanted to show this video on building medieval castles because they had this great demonstration of how they build a circular staircase, of how they had to get a circle. They drew a circle using, a compass-like thing. But it was very large. And they had to find the center of this circle. And they had to use some geometry for that. So I thought it'd be fun for my students to try to build a medieval staircase, except we're not going to do it out of stone. We're going to do it out of cardboard, right? So what I want is each group to build a medieval staircase out of cardboard where they have to use ancient methods for finding the center of a circle to design a template to get how they would cut the stone, but do it out of cardboard. So A Google site would be a great way for them to each have a page, for them to add pictures of their build, for them to explain what they're doing, to demonstrate the math, to use some GeoGebra for their design, take some screenshots, insert those in there, and then they can turn that in. And the way that the students would turn it is they would also publish. And then once they've published, go ahead and click on that link up in the toolbar, and they just turn in the link to their Google site. Or if you use Google Classroom, remember what I said? Google Sites save to Google Drive. So they can actually just turn it in just like they would a Google Doc, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so those are my 3 ways that you can use Google Sites this semester. You can use them for a what are we doing today and create a multimedia presentation of directions, videos of encouragement, embedding those documents. You can create a Google site with tutorials for things that students need some reminders on, or you can use it for student projects where this is where instead of them collaborating on Google Slides, we have them collaborate on a Google Sites. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope that this was helpful and gets you started with using Google Sites this semester.